Welcome to this tutorial on how to use a stencil to apply solder paste for the LCC Fusion project. In this video, we'll walk you through the process of using a stencil to apply the correct amount of solder paste to your PCB surface mount pads, SMD. Using a stencil ensures accuracy, minimizes waste, and helps prepare the board for component placement and reflow soldering. Whether you're new to soldering or looking to improve your technique, this guide will give you the essentials to get your PCBs ready for assembly. A stencil is a metal sheet with cutouts that align with the surface mount pads, SMD, on the PCB. Its purpose is to ensure that the right amount of solder paste is applied to each pad accurately. The stencil is placed on top of the PCB, and solder paste is scraped across it. When the stencil is removed, the correct amount of paste is left on each pad, ready for component placement. For the LCC Fusion project, we ordered a custom-sized stencil to match the dimensions of our PCB. This helps reduce shipping costs and makes handling easier compared to the default larger size. Ordering a stencil ensures consistent solder paste application, which is essential for a successful assembly process. On the PCB, the surface mount device, SMD, pads are clearly marked for each component placement. These pads are where solder paste will be applied to ensure proper electrical connections when the components are placed. In addition to the SMD pads, there are two tooling holes on the PCB. These holes are used to position the stencil accurately on the board. By aligning the stencil with these tooling holes, we ensure that the solder paste is applied precisely to the correct pads for each component, helping to avoid misalignment during the assembly process. In this step, we apply solder paste to the PCB using a syringe in a holder with a large tip. This allows us to carefully control the flow of paste as we fill each of the cutouts on the stencil. Next, using a plastic spatula, we spread the paste evenly across the surface of the stencil, ensuring that all the cutouts are fully filled with paste. It's important to apply enough pressure to ensure the paste is transferred accurately to each SMD pad. Once the paste is applied, we carefully remove the tooling pins to release the stencil. Finally, we lift the stencil up and away from the PCB, revealing precise amount of paste on each pad, ready for component placement. Here we see the final result after applying the solder paste. The stencil has left an accurate amount of paste on each of the SMD pads, ensuring proper coverage for component placement. In the close-up view of the small IC pads, you can see how the paste has been precisely applied, filling each pad without excess or gaps. This careful application ensures reliable solder joints and a smooth reflow process when components are placed and soldered. Thank you for following along with this tutorial on applying solder paste using a stencil. By using the correct tools and techniques, you ensure a clean and precise PCB assembly, ready for component placement and reflow soldering. For more detailed guides and project resources, visit the LCC Fusion Project's documentation shown below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and check out the rest of the Blue Glove series for more DIY electronics and model train automation tutorials.